quarantine. So.
Anyone from this class? Yeah. No.
Who's not here?
I don't see a big hole where there's like.
Thanks, Nate. No, hold on. Put the prediction.
Oh, I didn't know you wanted that to do.
Yeah.
I know someone.
Like wouldn't like the X and M
Okay, there you go.
how to?
No.
No?
No. It's a contact of a contact, and that doesn't count.
Oh, okay.
All right. So, y hat is equal to 25.2x minus 299, which then when you make a prediction for a rockfish that is 24 inches long, you get 305.8. Way to show up.
Oh, that is not my fault.
Whose fault is it?
What did she do this time?
He was like, let's get Costco. And I was like, dude, that's far away. We're going to be late. And he's like, no, we'll make it.
Amen, though. Costco's where it's at. It's minus 2.
What did you get?
I got a chicken bake.
I've never had one.
Chicken bake?
Yeah.
They're out of the fruit smoothie, though. I was a bit upset about that.
I'm sorry. All right, so today we're going to learn how to transform data that is not linear to force it to be linear, so that we can run regression analysis on it. So maybe the data is not actually linear. I want you guys to make the residual plot and make a sketch of it here. You should remember how to make the residual plot. Although I did the residual plot for third period and they were like, whoa, that's so cool. I'm like, I've shown this to you like 100 times. They made me feel really bad. Like they were like, this is so awesome. I think I've shown it to you a zillion times.
That's a crazy thing that you just did.
So you guys are better than third period. So I'm gonna give you a minute to make a residual plot.
What did you say? We're better?
You're better than third period.
Do I know anyone in first period? Probably not. None of my friends
I
do
know
stats.
someone in 3rd period. Are you sure we're better than 3rd period?
Yes. But she's good.
My closest friend is in.
There's like 3 of them in there that actually try really hard.
One of my friends who's a sophomore is in pre-calc right now.
Yeah.
Something like that. Pre-calc, or they're gonna go to pre-calc. So they'll end up probably end up with that at some point. That or calculus, one of the two. We're gonna load any slower.
2, right?
I don't know.
Are you doing with
So it's like the X or Y.
Like
Hold on.
Don't we need a computer for this?
yeah, we're in Chromebook.
No.
Get on your Google Sheets on your phone then.
Phone's dead.
What?
My
Phone's dead.
Oh yeah?
16.8.
It is, look.
You know, a lot of phones are Type C and I have a Chromebook charger.
It died in the first box. I didn't charge it.
Well, now we've done it.
Look.
25. 26.7.
Alright, I'll just copy it.
28.2.
That's not gonna do you any good.
What if he draws the table?
32.
If you did it by hand, I'd be impressed.
You give him an A?
Sure.
34.
Tanner, you gotta do it.
34.4.
An A in the formative progress.
36.4.
It's actually worth much. Do we force the data into straight line by threatening it?
We will. We will threaten it, yes. You better.
Get back in line.
Becomes linear or else.
Become linear.
Or else
I'm not gonna use you.
Miss Lou, do you know pressure washing your shoes?
Oh my god, 293.
Why not just throw them in the washer?
318.
Uh,
I obviously don't know my numbers.
Well,
371.
do that. Right.
455.
Well, you could spot treat them. But I don't think pressure washing would do much
I'm at
besides
518.
push your shoe down the.
537.
Unless you're a older
Yeah,
guy.
I'm a professional.
What if you like?
19.
A pusher washer?
I'm a professional pressure washer.
726.
That's like a tongue twister. Professional pressure washer.
Yeah, me
Professional
too.
pressure washer.
Pressure washer.
Okay, and then will you read me?
Right, for brother?
You have the.
Yeah.
He said that he can't.
What if you held it like a glove?
He didn't have enough time.
Oh, have you ever used a pressure washer on your hand?
Did you
And
get
go-
the job?
Well,
I mean, his arm
I
is.
mean, clearly I did.
So far, I made $170.
No way.
Clearly, I haven't made the best choice.
That's a lot of money for 2 years. Yeah.
Me? Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, first. In 2 days. Was it like 5 hours?
Yeah, we probably worked in total like two.
Okay,
Did I finally get fast at anything? That's not need a number include that stuff.
seriously, Chloe.
25.2.
Yeah. 5.2 times X.
So that made a chance of working for Chloe's brother.
I want to see a funny picture. What am I doing? I'm subtracting 2. Oh, yeah, minus 299.
Sorry.
No, you're.
No, no, she should be sorry.
Why is it like this?
I accept your apology.
And that's Tanner. And then this one's Chance. Can I see this? Yeah, I actually found this too from when I did it. I looked at like the exact same picture as you guys did.
Shoot, I'm waiting for it to get dated. Shoot, the date.
You make me angry, Tanner.
So I'm
All about the date.
Miss Little, this is my black hole. You like it?
Can I go to track today?
And then, okay, it should auto. Why is it not?
Okay, that
That decided my decision on whether you're going to track today.
We made it in astronomy.
Which is like all in foil and
It has a top balloon inside of it.
Oh.
Mr. Black is, slacking it, that's what
Yeah.
he's doing it.
And then you go.
This is my black hole. It's not like to the standards I want it to be. We'll get it.
Alright, I was just gonna,
So he's cheating. This is what I overheard it.
she said she's gonna do it the easy way. What's wrong with that? I would totally do things the easy way.
It's cheating if you don't push yourself this little.
Cheating yourself.
Exactly.
This from Tanner, who does what in class? Again?
I wrote down 3058. I was here.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, it's not your fault.
Is it
Aw,
me?
man, did I? Oh,
Oh, it's what's that called? Brown.
aw, man.
It never goes below 0 though, right?
Right. So, for those of you that forgot, predicted weight, we can highlight the row, then go to the formula bar, put equals negative 299 plus 25.2 times. You have to put the asterisk or it doesn't like you. Our x's are in A2 to A21. Hit enter. It only gives me the first one, so then I pull down and it fills in the rest. Residuals, remember, are your actual minus the predicted. So our actual weights are in B2 to B21, and we're going to subtract the predicted weights from C2 to C21. Again, it only gives me the first one, so then I pull down. Then I want to graph length versus residuals. Oh man, my finger came off control. So if you hold down control, you can highlight both lists. And then we're going to put our chart in. Oh, it chose a scatter chart for me. It has length on the x-axis, residuals on the y. So then we can look at our residual plot and what is wrong with the residual plot.
Why is my residual plot upside down? What did I do wrong?
I am not sure.
Did you
Probably highlighted it first.
usually
Yeah, you might have done predicted minus actual, and it's actual minus predicted. So what's wrong with our residual plot? It's what?
Earth.
It has a pattern.
Linear.
Patterns are not good. Now I'm just making a quick sketch. It's not going to be anywhere close to perfect. And you don't have to use X's. Last period, they were like, do you have to use X's? And I was like, yes, you have to use X's or you don't get credit. And they were like, seriously? I was like, no.
The algebra.
Yeah, I was teaching residual plots in algebra. Yeah, James.
Oh.
Tanner.
That's messed up.
I'm sorry, Tanner. So it is curved, like almost like a parabola, which is not good. What?
I like parabolas.
I like parabolas too, but we don't want a pattern. So since we have a curved pattern, it tells us that the original data is not linear. And some of you, to get your least squared regression line, you made the scatter plot and then told it to do the trend line. So you saw it wasn't straight to begin with. You saw it had a curve. So like I said, today we're going to learn how to force data to be linear so we can do regression. So what can we do to force the data to be linear? We're going to transform the data. And there are a bunch of ways we can do it. We can use powers, exponents. We can use roots, which honestly are powers. Because like the square root is a 1/2 power. Why is my, like, the light not showing up? It's weird. It's very dark for having this lamp on.
Yeah.
And then the other one, which we're not going to talk about today, but we will tomorrow, is logarithms. Is that a good or a bad?
I hate it.
I'm not a logarithm fan either. The cool thing is Google Sheets is going to do all the work for us, so we don't even really have to remember what logs do. I will remind you of the basics, but the computer program is going to do everything for us, so it really doesn't matter.
I question every year why I take math.
Thanks, Chloe.
I feel like all those TikToks you sent us might not have been jokes.
Yeah, seriously.
No, it's not anything against you.
It's math.
Yeah,
Like,
did you go to the teacher lunch on?
No.
Aww.
Did you get an orange
He
today?
wrote you a nice
It's again
note.
orange.
Or Taylor wrote you.
I had children to take care of.
Orange, you the best.
Aw,
How
yeah,
does
super
what-
creative.
what does it mean? Oh, like aren't you the best? Oh, okay. Orange. Orange. you
Is
the
somebody
best.
with a really weird accent? Aren't you the best?
I didn't even know like the prefix.
You've never heard that joke?
Orange. you
Knock,
the
knock.
best.
No, knock, knock.
Knock, knock.
Orange.
No, you say, who's there? Orange.
Orange.
Orange what?
Orange who?
Orange who?
Orange. Knock knock.
Say who's there.
Who's there?
Orange.
Orange who?
Orange. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Banana.
Banana who?
Orange, you glad I didn't say orange? Something like that. I know I screwed it up.
Orange you glad I didn't say that. I heard that one, but I never heard it.
Well, then how did you not know what they meant by orange
you the
here?
best. Like,
Orange, you glad I didn't?
best.
Oh, I was supposed to do bananas.
Banana the whole time. Yeah. So like I have a cuties and like I used to.
Orange you glad I didn't say banana.
I feel like they should
Yeah.
have
I
said
heard that one.
cuties.
Okay,
That's
but
probably the first joke I ever heard.
Orange cuties. Yeah.
I thought it was funny.
all right. So what can we do? I said we're not using logarithms today, so that rules that one out. But what could we do to transform fish weight and fish length?
I think if you rooted that thing,
Rooted what thing?
the parabola, the residuals, but that wouldn't really help because you guys.
You do the L thing.
Okay, so I kind of get what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, our pattern's squared, so if we don't pay attention to that. That's not going to help us. Think about fish weight and fish length. Last period made me feel like, to me, this seems kind of like intuitive, but they made me think that
You
I'm wrong.
linear with power. It really-
What power?
I think square.
Yeah.
Or if you were doing like population growth, then you could throw in a little E.
Just throw an E. Little weird number.
Oh, so
Wait,
Okay.
what's the number?
it's not square,
Natural law. That's
but we're not doing logarithms today.
It's not square.
Third.
It's definitely
So,
even. It's
I-
negative
I-
square.
This is how I think about it, okay? If I have a square and it's got length L, right?
Oh.
So weight of a fish is volume because it's 3-dimensional.
Oh.
And so it's like taking a cube, right? I don't know. To me, that last period made me feel like really like that was crazy to think of it as volume. But that's how I think of it. Like a fish has a certain length and its weight is its volume. So we're going to do length cubed. That's, I don't know. On Wednesday, we'll go more in depth on what to look for to know what to try. And then there will be a list of like, try this, if that doesn't work, try this, which I know sucks, but the computer does most of the work, so it's not that hard to try different transformations. But so we're gonna cube our length. So I'm gonna jump back into Google Sheets. What we're gonna do once we've cubed our length is we're gonna find the LSRL for the new transform data, use the line to make a prediction, and then find our residual plot for the new transform data. But I am going to jump back into Google Sheets. So I am going to get rid of our residual plot. And then what I'm going to do is I highlighted Chloe. I highlighted this column and I'm going to insert a column to the left. And I'm going to call that length cubed. So the computer, like I said, does all the work. So we're going to highlight the column. Oops, that was not far enough down. There we go. And then in the formula bar, you're going to put equal. And we're going to use a function so that it cubes all the lengths for us. So we don't have to do any work. Now, you can't go to insert. Your guys's should. I'm zoomed in so that you can see better, but yours at the far right of this like toolbar should be the sigma notation. And if you hover over it, it'll tell you functions. Okay, we're gonna go in there and we're going to go to math because this has nothing to do with a statistical analysis at this point. And we're going to scroll down and choose power because we want to raise something to a power. They don't have just like squared, like number squared or number cubed. You have to choose power. So when I choose power, it's going to ask for the base. So the numbers I want to raise to the third power, which are my actual lengths, which are from A2 to A21. And then comma, space, and I'm raising it to the third power. So I put a 3. And then I hit enter, and of course it only fills in the first, so I highlight that and then pull it down. And it fills in all my length cubed. Yeah, so we're not going to draw the scatter plot on your notes, but I do want to look at length cubed versus weight. So I highlighted those 2 rows, insert the chart, choose a scatter plot, and then notice it's got 2 sets of dots, blue and red. So for some reason it defaulted to no x-axis, so I'm going to click on add x-axis and I want length cubed to be there. And then I'm going to, under series, go to length cube, click the 3 dots and remove.
That's a lot straighter.
And it is a lot straighter. And then we need to find our least squared regression line, so I guess I shouldn't have closed out of there. So under customize, you want to go to series, trend line, label, use equation, and we now have our equation. So 0.0147 times x plus 4.07. Series, trend line, label, and you want to choose use equation. All right, so our new equation is y hat equals 0.0147x plus 4.07. So I want you to use that line to make a prediction for the rockfish that's 24 inches long.
I'm gonna get my braces out here.
No way.
I'm supposed to. I don't remember if it's at 2 or 2:30. Yeah, but yeah.
And then when you do your linear regression, just make sure it's this one, or excuse me, this 3 versus this. Okay. Did you make a prediction?
Yeah. Whoa!
How did we make a prediction on the front page?
Four inches long.
Yeah.
No.
I didn't know where I was going.
24. Okay, let me do this in my head.
Oh, okay, good luck.
24. Obviously, it's going to be like 0.24 plus
Obviously.
4.07, right?
Obviously.
Yeah. Isn't it? Or am I right?
wrong.
It's not point
It's not.
something close to
Nope.
0.7.
So,
Are you sure it's
I am absolutely 100% positive. A lot of you did this. Actually, all of you did this.
When you put it in the line instead.
You just put 24 in, which before, when we just did x versus y, that's what we needed to do. Just put what x is in. But now our y hat is the weight and our x is length cubed. So you need to cube 24 first.
So when you make a chart, it was length cubed times. And that's why I messed up
My goals.
So when you do that, I can't remember what it comes out to be. 24 to the third power. Can't see that. There we go. And then times 0.0147, and then add 4.07. So we get 207.2828. Which, at least Sophie, when I was walking around, she goes, I don't like this 4.28, 4.428. Which if you look at the data, having a rockfish with a length of 24 inches, it should be somewhere between 190 and 264. So having the 4.4 didn't make a whole lot of sense. But the minute we cube our length, like our equation was doing, it makes more sense. It falls in between those values. So now we're going to make a residual plot. And I'm going to switch back to Google Sheets. So I'm going to get rid of my scatter plot. And I'm going to keep my column titles, but I'm going to get rid of these because these are from my old least squared regression line. So predicted weight, same thing as before, equals, we have 4.07 plus 0.014 times x. Now here, we're going to choose the length cubed column already because that'll save us a step. Instead of having to cube all these, we already have them all cubed, so let's use those as our x's. So from B2 to B21. I should probably put that in parentheses. And then I'm going to drag to fill in. So there's all my predicted weights. Times you have to do the asterisk, which is Shift 8 on the Chromebook. I tried one time without the asterisk and it like said NA. I was like, whatever. Are we good? No. Okay. Are we good? All right. So then, excuse me, residuals, same thing. We're going to take the actual weights minus the predicted weights. So C2 to C21 minus D2 to D21. And then we're going to fill those in. So then to make the residual plot, this time our x's were the length cubed. So you want to highlight length cubed and then residuals for our residual plot. We're going to go to chart, make sure it's a scatter chart. And for whatever reason, it's been doing this a lot more lately where it leaves my x-axis blank. So that's the length cubed, and then I have to remove length cubed from the series. And there's our residual plot. And this one has no pattern, which is a good thing. Questions? No? All right, so you are supposed to make a sketch of that on your notes. I did leave a space for that one. We'll make a sketch. And the copy machine put these random lines in the middle, but this one happened to be like perfect because it's like the x-axis for you.
Happy birthday, Chloe.
Who are you calling now? Hi, Dad. I that was just luck. Most teachers would be upset. I use the copy machine that has this random line in the middle. And most teachers would be like, I have the line in the middle, and like, whatever. Okay. They like avoid that machine like it's the plague or something.
And that's when you do it.
It's like nobody's ever using it. I don't have to wait in line. All right, so again, it's just a sketch. So my residual plot is not perfect, but it shows that there's no pattern, which is what we want to see. Residual on the y, length cubed was on the x. So we transformed the data by making it so that weight was equal to length cubed. What is another way we could have transformed the data? There's another one. Obviously, that's what I'm asking. Sorry, that was kind of a stupid statement. Cube root what?
Weight.
Cube root weight. So instead of cubing length, we could have cube rooted the weight and left length alone. What time do we get out of this class?
I don't know. That's stressing.
I don't know.
Either do I. You guys are supposed
I
to
can
have.
I have to pull
So,
up my
like,
little
17
scheduling
minutes.
thing. So give me all.
For real, Mrs. Wu.
All right.
2:15.
Well, this'll just take a couple minutes. You guys are just gonna watch for a minute, okay? Instead of taking notes. But Tanner is still taking notes.
Okay, but look here, do it
That's big AF.
That's
Well, I really hope my
exactly what Chloe said.
I really hope it's not at 2, because then that would be making me really sad.
What?
Doesn't need to be late.
Well, why do you have to leave earlier? So.
Because it's either at 2 or 2:30.
He's getting his braces.
Oh, that's right. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna jump back to Google Sheets. You guys are just gonna watch. You don't have to do this one. Just watch. Right. So I said that the other thing we could have done was do the cube root of weight. So that's what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you that if we had done that, it would have worked as well. So if you're doing a cube root or a square root, they don't have those in the functions. Actually, hold on, I lied. They have square root under function. So if you go to math, square root is right here, SQRT. That's a square root. They don't have any other roots. And I have looked, but I haven't found it. Like, I haven't seen radical. Like a radical could be a way that you do a cube root. And I looked up here for cube and it wasn't there. So you have to think of it as a power. So we're taking, why did it put it down there again? Sorry. I want it in there. I don't want that there. Equals. And then I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna do power. So our weights, because we're taking the cube root of weights, so my weights are in column C, so from C2 to C21. And then a cube root is a 1/3 power, so I put the comma in the space, and then I do 1 divided by 3. If it was like 1/2 or 1/4, I probably would use 0.5 or 0.25, but I don't know if I could put enough 3s after the decimal, so I used 1/3. And then I pull that down. So there are all the cube roots of my weights. So this time, I'm going to graph length versus cube root of weight. And when I make my scatter plot, length is my x, cube root of weight is my y. Notice that again, it forced my data to be linear, okay? So there's usually more than one way you can force your data to be linear. And I suppose... They called Eugene to figure out what time your appointment's at?
Well, no, it was the first one that popped up and I didn't realize that it was Eugene.
So there's our equation for this one, if we use cube root of weight, okay? And so then, like if I asked you to make a prediction for the rockfish who's 24 inches long, length we didn't mess with, so we would put 24 in there. But then, because it's the cube root of weight, to get weight, we would have to cube whatever we got over here to get the actual predicted weight, okay? I personally, when I'm forcing data to be linear, I prefer to mess with x because we don't always remember that like you have to cube it to get the actual predicted. But you can do mess with either x or y. So now we're going to look at a different example. So this time, yeah, I was going to have you guys try this one. So you have the table that shows stopping distances in feet for a car tested 3 times at each of 5 speeds. We want to create a model that predicts stopping distance from speed of the car. So going 20 miles per hour, the car took 64 feet to stop the first time, then 62 feet, then 59 feet. And then at 30 miles per hour, 114, 118, 105. So explain why a linear model is not appropriate, and you can use a graph to explain why. Transform the data to straighten the scatter plot. Find the least squared regression line of your transformed data. Estimate the stopping distance for a car traveling 55 miles per hour and 70 miles per hour. And then how much confidence do you have in your predictions? Do you guys feel like you can try this one? You're gonna raise it to a power or use a root or
So it's 20 3 times.
Can you write me a note to go to the nurse's office?
yes. Okay. All of a sudden, I was asking myself if that was correct.
You're fine. It's not like the most common way to spell it.
Today is my 3rd. Maybe if I can write. There we go. Uh-huh.
Do we have to make a residual plot for this? The scatter plot, the scatter plot.
I don't know if I can't remember. Hold on. I did it already, but let's see. Yeah, you check the scatter chart first. The scatter chart in this case actually looks pretty linear.
It does.
But if you look at the residuals don't.
Those are pretty linear, if you ask me.
It does. But if you look at the residual plot, it then doesn't, it follows that curved pattern.
Explain why a linear model is not appropriate.
We have to remember what's info.
We have to do the stuff we would do.
Add a label, so you get customized, you get a series. And you scroll down where it says the label. Or we scroll down where it should be a box that says channel. Yeah, perfect. Use version, remember? Yes. Okay. Now what you're gonna do is in that 3rd column, you're gonna label.
Yeah, I think
the
there's really.
distance.
If I get another flip of page on graph, I'll check in with you.
Okay.
I'm still not sure what was wrong there.
You for sure did actual way to predict it.
Which
Oh,
as I went through it again, and it's
instead
still
of
just nothing changed about it. May not be here anymore because I'm trying to figure it out. Whatever. I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, so over here in this
There's this
setup,
way.
okay, these are
A1 through
go to setup.
A18.
There's a residual point. That's something else.
So sometimes when you scroll down,
Those
if that was clicked, if it
in the column next to that one, you're gonna put residual up top.
Hopefully I can have something like that again.
hopefully not.
And then you're gonna go
Stop that.
C1 through C at the bottom, and then minus B. Or you're gonna go B minus C.
Oh my God.
I'm just trying to get everything fast as we can.
Okay,
They're all
so,
gonna be negative, except for like one.
oh goodness.
I don't know why, but I just got so tired.
I'm exhausted too.
So wait, this one.
Yes.
Whenever
Sometimes, yeah.
whenever I work,
I don't know yet. They don't tell us.
A.
Okay.
I have a question. Is pre-cut or college credit? Just regular pre-cut.
In years past, yes,
Okay, because
they do RCC credit.
okay.
But this year was weird because Miss Chu caught it, and she's had a really tough year. Yeah. She lost her house in September, and then her mom died suddenly, so she had a lot of stuff. Yeah. So I think they only got like 4 credits instead of 8 this year.
So you do get, you can't get credit for just one.
Yes.
Okay. That's all I needed.
whenever I work out in the morning, I just profusely sweat all day.
And then you go to, yeah, perfect.
Really
So for
sucks.
series, you're gonna
Are you
go
trying to
G.
tell me you're profusely sweaty
Yeah.
at the moment? Thanks for the.
This is always a problem.
You didn't know
So
that.
it says x-axis.
I was just thinking about that.
But honestly, I haven't talked regular. Well, I subbed for
what's going on? It's not there any.
Yeah.
You'll probably have this too. I take honors pre-calc pretty much.
Well, I might have to tell my friend to do
Maybe
honors.
I'll take all
The
this
first time I haven't done honors in quite a while.
Are you gonna do honors pre-calc next year?
I'm not sure yet. They don't tell us. The only thing I know for
Because,
sure is statistics. I'm not only one.
My friends don't like Miss Q that much, and if she's still having a lot of subs, they wouldn't like it. Some people said that she liked it up on all the homework, probably because
I like
You
to
go
go
to the very top.
when I took over.
yeah.
And
Just
Because, like,
she had like an
notorious.
8-page test to do online, and I was like,
Yep.
no, we're not
He's
doing that.
notorious for
Let's
giving
go.
lots and lots
I
of
don't know.
homework.
I have to
What
say,
was that
my
sweet
son,
stuff?
I am so
I
happy
hate
that,
that.
like,
You just have to
I
take
love Miss Chu.
She's a nice person.
She's such a nice
Well,
person.
and I think she's a very good teacher. But my son would not do well in her classes. He doesn't like homework.
Honestly, nobody I know likes homework. No one I know likes to do any homework. I try to do
I
as
like
much as I
homework,
can,
I don't know why.
but I find it really hard to
It's
motivate
true.
myself to
It's
do
so
it.
weird. But like,
Because
It's
I'm
so
at home,
easy.
I want to
I don't
sit
know
down
why.
at home
like
and
just
work.
doing it for me was easy. I guess.
I just.
And I'm like super busy all the time, so it sucks.
I just
Yeah,
call it with like 5 different people.
Yeah, besides next year, I'm not taking a math class. I'm going to do
I
AP
cannot
math. That'll be
think
I
plenty of
transferred into Miss Chu's class like the day before her trig quest or trig quiz was, and I got 100% on it.
Nice.
Oh my gosh, it's more.
And I went from algebra.
If you wonder why you
straight
don't get
into
every
algebra
single
one.
assignment from me, it's because I have a hard time motivating myself to
And
do
I
it.
just never did any of her homework, and I always got
But,
like 90s on it.
Honestly, 2 years ago, you would have been lucky to get one assignment a week out of homework.
And then you try to do like the notes in class, and then she's like, "Don't do it."
Would you?
Wait, are we
So-
supposed to do something? What's my linear model is not appropriate?
Because if they're all you can think of is kinetic energy equals 1 half mass.
Not that good.
Square root.
Square root what?
The term.
She's been in
Or no,
physics too
square
long.
root the distance.
Are you talking about physics?
Sure, go ahead, try that.
No, that doesn't help. Now we have to do multiple things.
No, there are multiple ones that'll work.
Oh, so
There's
where?
no like
Where?
set, like you have to do it this way.
So wait, would it be more effective to you would square root the speed or you would square the distance? Let's square root the speed. Okay. So now you're gonna
Yeah,
add
that
column
looks good.
after speed.
Because you can set it to be a polynomial or exponential. I don't know what's up.
I won't.
Okay, and then at the top of that, you're gonna put square root of speed, like you only go square root.
Oh,
Square root.
Because I didn't see it. What's in the setup thing?
And then in the box below that, you have equals,
That's
and
good.
then A2 through A7. And then you're
Because when I
let's
go
see, you should get a
to
little like this
predict
guy.
it, that'd be something else. What was the, I think, what was the, minus, remember not the,
actually I just predicted, but I don't know why.
what's the prediction meant to be? Is that, stopping time? Yeah.
Yeah, stop to distance.
Yeah, so this would be, yeah. Really, we'll just shift the graph up and down and we'll flip it, so.
I don't know why yours are upside down.
The residual
We, yeah, I think you do.
Oh, yeah.
Now
And
we
then you
do.
delete the tree.
We'll see if this fixes it.
Right, you have to clear out those variables.
Literally just shift it down. Literally just shift it down, yeah. That's what I should do, but I don't get it.
Well, first
Like,
we
why
have
is
to
this
get,
all the way down upside down?
we have to get the.
Because I've got the, residual sit up.
Yeah, exactly what she's talking about too. The thinking. Yeah, exactly.
So I think I figured it out. I had accidentally been doing, that would be, I've been doing this backwards.
That's what I thought.
I'm getting my
Uh,
I'm not going.
There you go. You're
I
like,
don't really do it on mine.
Are you doing online?
Yeah, because otherwise it's illegible.
That is true. You do have some. Sorry, not the best
I've
handwriting.
heard it. I know it. I admit it.
You're not the worst I've seen though.
Yeah.
Have there been literal doctor handwriters in here?
Have you seen Dr. Handwriting? You have.
Yeah.
There we go. That's what's
Trust me, I
better.
know. I actually managed to change the Chromebook theme for Google because I set up a second computer to use exclusively for Google. And the background output color was red and set that for even Google. So now that's nice and red and I kind of like it. Put it in the microwave. So,
Instead of microwave.
I mean, it could be safe as long as you have enough mass to absorb all the reflecting waves. Like, well, what it is, if you say put like use a metal microwave with like a shallow dish of water, you'll be fine. Because water will just absorb all the extra.
The water will just
It'll heat up.
I
No,
keep
I'll
but
just
all
melt.
when you
because it heats up that
Oh,
way.
I'm talking like a small piece of metal, not this whole thing. Where did you get that much tinfoil?
I made it.
When?
diction
Why?
because
You're testing how black it is for.
Oh, my hold a lot of way about that much
It's got a
mass.
torch shield radius of
Torch shield.
something to the negative 78.
The second.
The volume of
Like, it's got a mass of nothing.
a
So the
44
black ball of that much mass would literally
That should
instantly just disappear. Ooh, a marker. What should I draw?
Dark Chloe.
hey,
I'm not good at drawing.
That's me.
I can tell. Oh, not me.
No, just a stick figure.
I like
You got some nice armor.
do you look at me though?
Here's an old
Yeah, you see the resemblance.
I do.
banner.
Look at, I think my screen is brown. But I can tell it's my screen.
I don't see much of that in there.
the x-axis is only 400.
Oh,
When it repeats
So,
you have to pause.
this little, how often do you refer to these books?
The left two, not very much.
hey, you
The
guys want to
statistics ones, I'll look at.
Is this where you get all the homework?
She gets them all on.
Because in which case, okay, we can get rid of them.
Nate, you want these?
Sure. Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Did you make it straight?
Tanner, what's your favorite?
I like Westcroft, but Westcroft is
Okay.
just
If you just blew up the scale so much that all the points on the graph are just really